morning, good morning. I'm going to turn this down so you can hear me. Okay, good morning. Book review. I read this book. Outstanding book. It's called Cultish by, what's her name? Damn, it's called Cultish. Like English, Spanish. This is Cultish. It's the language of cults. And it was like, the way that I read it, my book review, it's like a 3-part book. The first part was about really like cults, dangerous cults. Jamestown, whatever it's called. 3HO. Like shit that people really get caught up in, that like there's no denying that that's a cult. Heaven's Gate, that kind of stuff. So it was like, the first one was like pretty brutal. There were some mentions of other organizations, but it was about kind of dangerous cults. The second part was about like fitness. Second part was about like sales cults. So the big thing that she talked about for a while in the book was MLMs, multi-level marketing, pyramid schemes, how people get caught up, your mentality when you're in that. It's definitely cult mentality. She mentioned a friend that she talked to who called it a cult, who used to be caught up in one of those. There's a mentality that they sell. Basically, like, MLMs are an embodiment of capitalism. It is capitalism. It's a perfect example of that. And they use the same language, like sales language, like pushing language. So I don't know. It was like a good analysis of like just sales culture, like really dangerous shit. The next part of the book was mostly about like exercise cults and talking about how like it just gets people moving, collective communities, like things like that. So good. Like, I mean, that's what I'd be saying. Like, cults are just, they're communities. It's like shared belief systems to like, maybe it has an objective, maybe it gets you to do something. I've been going to Alcoholics Anonymous. Cult. It's a cult. Call it whatever you want. I know it helps people. I know it works, but of course it works. If you follow the belief system, it's gonna work. How bad do you want to quit alcohol? Here's a cult for you. It's gonna change your life. That's the other thing. All of these things have like an adverse effect on people's lives. So that's kind of one of the things that makes everything a cult. Like, it consumes you. It could really have an adverse effect on your life. And you meet these people who like get really into the things they get into. They give a lot of money to it. They give a lot of their time. But the last thing, like in her conclusion, she discusses like influence cults, like influencers, which is like, she says Instagram is like basically like everyone's forming their own personal cult. That's what Instagram is, and I agree with that. That's what you're doing. You're creating a following. It was called Follow for Follow. It was just really cool, man. Like, I really liked the book, but there was my problem with it. One of my problems with it was that it didn't give enough attention to, she mentioned QAnon and like how people kind of get caught up in that. I've met some people, just talking to people at a bar, like, that are way caught up in that shit. They're like losing family members or alienating people, but they're like reading the Q drops. They really think this thing is going to change the world. I've seen other people do this with, like, not just QAnon, but like other things. But what I wanted her to mention is that QAnon people are right a lot of times. So they're right, but they're too caught up in it. They're right, but they're wrong. And when they find a little bit of truth, it really fucking like draws you in. Not that I've ever done it, but I'm fascinated by it, like super fascinated. So they think that there's a cabal of like people that run the world, and they're like lizard people, and it's Hillary Clinton and she drinks the blood of children and Okay, that's taking it a little far, but there is, I wouldn't call it like a cabal, but like there's a ruling class. It's called wealth, it's called money, and they are running the world. They are making the calls, they control the resources, they control the technology, and they direct money. Money does grow on a tree. There's a natural flow of money, and it flows into the pockets of these billionaires. It flows away from us, people like me and you, and it flows into the pockets of billionaires. But they don't say that in QAnon. But when they see signs of that, when they're losing their jobs, when they're closing mines, or like firing tech people, or just all of this stuff, what it's doing is it's confirming their crazy beliefs, which actually aren't so crazy. And if you think, okay, like I'm giving them like a little bit of, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be giving them attention, but yeah, okay, so they think Trump's the savior. They're wrong about that. He's one of the cabal. He's the president of the United States. Most of the time, that's going to be someone in the in group. That's someone with influence, and that's someone that people are going to want to control. That's someone that they're going to want to blackmail, fly to Epstein's Island, and I don't know, take videos of them sleeping with minors, blackmail. And this is stuff like, okay, they say that it's the Democrats. Trump is like really good friends with Epstein, dude. I don't know, like it's not just Democrats, it's everyone. It's everyone. And like it's a conservative movement, and this is like ongoing, like kind of conservative dogma, but they believe in traditional values and they think that we've lost that. But if you look at, like, this is what's been pushed. If you have an Instagram, that is porn. It's porn attitude. It's addictive. It draws you in. Like, you see people promoting their OnlyFans and da-da-da-da-da. So, like, I mean, like, if you get, and it's like a little, like, make-believe sample of communities, of culture, of our culture. But it's fabricated by tech companies. You're seeing what they want you to see, which is what the algorithm wants you to see, which is what makes people money, because we live in a sales culture. So sex sells, porn sells, and they show you a lot of porn. And then someone who's like deep into QAnon might be like a conservative person, and they think that we're losing our like family or godly values because they've seen it on Instagram, or they've been caught up in it, or they've suffered from it, you know, and they're not wrong. Like, we are being directed in a certain direction by this stuff, and this is the danger. Like, if they're not getting the real truth, but they're getting a story that, like, behooves them, or a story that, like, makes them feel like things make sense in this crazy cult, then they're going to follow the cult, which means that they're just following more lies, and they're already vulnerable to this stuff because they're accepting lies sold to us by tech companies or capitalists or people with money. And of course they'll associate that with a cabal that's run by George Soros or Bill Clinton. They even see it on the news. You know, I've seen them talk about Antifa like as the Antichrist or whatever. Antifa doesn't exist, bro. Like, it's not real. Like, hopefully we're all against fascism, anti-fascism. There's people that wore like face masks and stuff in protests, or all black, or like held a stupid anarchist flag. It's just a bunch of kids, like, you know, thinking that they're like revolutionaries, and they're breaking windows and stuff like that. This stuff blows up on like Fox News. Like, maybe they're claiming Antifa, or they think they're part of something, but that's a cult too. Yeah, that's a cult too. And if they get caught on camera and blown up on Fox News, then these narratives that like QAnon is like following or like hearing about, it starts making sense. So we, like, QAnon is our fault. It's our fault. We have created that because of like media companies lying to regular people. And QAnon is right about a lot of things. Is it a cult? Absolutely. Are they fucking crazy? Absolutely. They take it pretty far. And I mean, like lizard people, like people drink. They might, I don't know, like rich people drinking blood of children. I mean, there are literal pedophile rings among the rich, and they get away with it because they have lawyers and money, and they use it to blackmail each other, and they kidnap people. They do that. They definitely do that. We all know they do that. Especially in the internet age, like the information age. Look at WikiLeaks. Look at, like that's all true. So like you are fueling QAnon because we're not allowed to see the Epstein list. We're not allowed to see these trials that Ghislaine Maxwell is like undergoing. Like we don't get the results because we're regular people. So like just think about that. When these QAnon people tell you there's a cabal of rich people, they're wrong, but they're also right. Okay, that's my review. Okay, and but like in this book, Cultish, she kind of calls them out as like crazy kooks, which you're right, but like it's worth listening to, and I've always thought it's worth listening to people in cults because I'm fascinated by it. I stayed with a cult in Vermont. Like I asked them questions. I interviewed them. Like you got to be careful because it's like if you're like a lost person and you're looking for meaning and someone gives you meaning, especially if they're telling you things that you want to hear. Okay, especially if they're telling you things that you want to hear. Jesus, fuck, dude. This traffic is fucked. Then yeah, it's dangerous. It's easy to get caught up in something. Be careful, but listen to each other. The end.